I'm James Lupton. This is Slothbox, and you're watching episode 2 of the preview show. First and foremost, I'd like to give a big thank you to my guest this week who joined me at last minute notice after a couple of pull-ups. Caoimhin Agyarko, the Irish amateur sensation, now signed with Frank Warren, joins me on Slothbox to preview, break down and analyse this week's bout between Joshua Buatsi and Ricards Bolotniks.
So, Joshua Buatsi, Ricards Bolotniks, August 14th, fight camp, Brentwood. First of all, what do you think of the fight?
I think it's a very good fight for both fighters. Bolotniks has had a couple good wins recently. He beat Stevie Ward, Jose Burton. And then Buatsi is a class operator. I mean, it was a very special knockout in his last fight. And I feel like I rate Buatsi very highly, so it makes for an exciting fight.
In terms, you mentioned the couple of Bolotniks' last fights. So, on recent form, you got Buatsi's last fight, Daniel Dos Santos, 4th round knockout, Marco Kalic, 7th round knockout, and Ryan Ford, 7th round knockout also. And then Bolotniks, Serge Michel, 10th round stoppage, Jose Burton on points, and Stephen Ward in the first round. Who do you sort of lean towards based on recent form?
I would say I would have to go with Buatsi and just how he's went about his business and dealt with his opponents. I feel like technically he's a better fighter. Obviously he had a good amateur background with the Olympics and stuff like that. So I would definitely have to lean towards Buatsi, but I don't think it's an easy fight for him. I think Bolotniks will come to win, and I think that's what Buatsi needs to showcase his skills. I feel like it's a very, very good fight. Both fighters carry a bit of power, and it's going to be an exciting fight.
In terms of the experience, in terms of the opponents they've faced, for Buatsi, he's not really fought anybody that people sort of know of. I suppose the highest profile name he's fought is probably Liam Conroy. How will that stand him going into this fight? Because Bolotniks, with the golden contract with MTK, it's more well known. Does that bring on different pressure? Is it better or worse for Buatsi?
I think it's better for Buatsi. I feel like he's at that level now where he's just on the brink of world level, talent-wise and stuff like that. I feel that he's up there definitely. So he needs these tough learning fights just before going into world level, and I feel like this will show how good Buatsi is. He needs someone who's coming to fight and who's coming to win. And there's no doubt that Bolotniks is coming to win. Do you know what I mean? He's just coming off the golden contract with some great wins, and he's not coming to lie down. So I think whoever wins this year will be on the brink of a world title. So I feel like Buatsi, maybe the pressure's on him to perform and stuff like that, but I feel that with a fighter like Bolotniks, it will bring the best out in Buatsi.
You mentioned they'll see a brink of a world title. I think they're ranked, it's either 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 with the WBA, so both very highly ranked going into this fight, potentially looking at a world title next, held by Bivol currently. Obviously, depends on what happens with Bivol and Canelo. Do you feel now's the time for Buatsi to crack on to world level, or is it still too soon, considering who he's faced?
Yeah, you could question, is it a bit too soon because of who he's faced, but at the same time, like I said, technically he's definitely at that level. He carries so much power, and he doesn't look big when you see him on TV, but standing beside him in person, he's huge. I've watched him spar, and I feel like he just needs them experience fights, learning to do the rounds, because he has near enough got everyone out of there. And I feel like someone like Bolotniks who's going to come to win, maybe bring him into a bit of deep waters and give him rounds and test his chin. I feel that this is the perfect fight for him at this stage in his career. Maybe 1 or 2 fights after this at this level, with people who's ranked in the top 10. But I definitely feel like Buatsi is world class, and he's just on the brink of world level.
You mentioned obviously his amateur pedigree. Obviously, he was in the Olympics for 2016. Yourself, an extensive amateur career as well. For somebody who I don't want to say relies on their amateur pedigree, but somebody who's well known for their amateur pedigree. Do you feel that's dangerous in the pro games, or do you feel if you're that elite in the amateurs, you can move quickly in the pros?
I feel like it just depends what stage of your career you are in boxing in general, like how old you are and what you achieved in the amateurs. But I feel like it will definitely benefit Buatsi because he's used to facing different styles. So he has a bit more in the locker, knowing how to adapt to different styles, and it definitely benefits him. I feel anyway. He's like he went to the Olympics, got a bronze medal, beat some unbelievable fighters, and he knows how to adapt. He's a very smart fighter, but also carries power, and he's technically very good. So I think it definitely benefits him.
Do you feel the higher the level of opposition you face as an amateur, does that almost bypass almost a journeyman opponent stage of your pro career?
To a certain extent, listen, I feel like professional boxing is a completely different sport to amateur. You can have as many amateur fights as you want, fight all different fighters, but it's about learning to do the rounds, learning to slow that pace down, when to put the foot on the pedal and stuff like that. But it's two completely different styles of boxing.
In terms of Bolotniks coming over, he has fought in Brentwood before, not at obviously Matchroom Gardens. It was in the Leisure Centre on the Golden Contract, Stephen Ward, and it was a devastating first round stoppage. Nobody saw it coming. He's obviously comfortable with going away from home. He doesn't mind fighting in somebody's backyard. How much confidence will he have going into this fight?
Yeah, without doubt, he'll have a lot of confidence. He's coming off a couple of great wins against Jose Burton, Stevie Ward, who I rate very highly. I've boxed him the amateur scene with Stevie, and he had a very good amateur background as well, going to come off games twice, I think. He got a silver medal and stuff like that. So to beat someone like Stevie Ward and Jose Burton, your confidence is going to be sky high, and he won the Golden Contract where there was a lot of good names in it. So he's going to be confident. He's going to be coming to win. I don't feel like coming to Buatsi's backyard and fighting him is going to be a problem. He's shown that he can come to the UK and perform. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. He's going to be confident and he'll be going for the win. But I also feel like that might play into Buatsi's hands because someone like his style of fighting leaves kind of openings for someone like Buatsi, and Buatsi punches very hard. So I think the first couple of rounds will be a bit edgy, but I feel like Buatsi will exploit them areas.
In terms of with Bolotniks, he's had a few losses in his career already, so he's not protecting an O as such, whereas Buatsi is obviously undefeated. How much more pressure does it apply to Buatsi to continue being undefeated? We all talk about it, obviously, since the whole Mayweather effect. Everybody wants to go on as long as possible and ideally retire undefeated. Does it add more pressure to a fighter?
Yeah, without doubt. Without doubt. I mean, nobody wants to lose, no matter what. You always want to win, and Bolotniks has tasted defeat, and he probably, I'm sure he never wants to taste defeat again. But he knows that he's tasted defeat and he's bounced back. Someone like Buatsi, who hasn't done that in his pro career, the pressure is on him to perform and keep his own, but it's kind of Buatsi has everything to lose. I mean, he's meant to be the next superstar on the brink of world level for Britain, and the pressure will be on. But I feel like Buatsi's the type of fighter that would rise to the occasion and doesn't fold under pressure.
You've mentioned you've seen Buatsi up close, you've seen him sparring, you've been inside the gyms with him. Just talk to me a bit about what you feel are his pros and his cons.
Buatsi, I seen him. He actually sparred Lerone Richards up when Lerone was with us, and it was an unbelievable spar. Buatsi's just so big and so strong. He uses his strength in terms of punching power and physical power to his best advantages. So I feel like when you're in there with him, he takes up so much room. He walks you down, cuts off the ring well. He punches very hard, but he also goes to the head and body very well. The only thing I question about Buatsi is sometimes when he gets clipped, he kind of loses the head, or he can when someone's a bit dirty in there with him and stuff, they can get under his skin a bit easy. So that is something that maybe Bolotniks has looked at and might be able to exploit. But that's something that Buatsi will have to kind of deal with as he moves forward in his career in terms of staying concentrated and not losing the head and sticking to this game plan.
I mean, the Latvian's going to come into this fight really with not an awful lot of pressure on his shoulders at all. He's the underdog. Nobody's really expecting him to win, but he's been there before as the underdog. You mentioned Stevie Ward and Jose Burton even. How dangerous does that make an opponent?
It makes him very dangerous because he has nothing to lose. He's everything to gain. Do you know what I mean? He's tasted defeat before. He's went to people's backyards and proved himself. So he'll go in there and he'll enjoy it, knowing that he's no pressure and all the pressure is on Buatsi, and that he knows that maybe that bit of added pressure could affect Buatsi. So I feel like he'll go in and enjoy it. And obviously he's coming here for the win. He's not coming to lie down. He knows there's a lot at stake. Both fighters are just on the brink of world level, like I've said. So he has nothing to lose. But at the same time, someone like Buatsi, I just feel like he'll rise to the occasion. I feel like it's like pressure creates diamonds. Do you know what I mean? And someone like Buatsi, who he's such a nice guy and he has a fan-friendly style. He had a good amateur background, so he knows what he's doing in there. Do you know what I mean? And moving out to America and training with Virgil Hunter will benefit him a lot. Having a coach in your corner who has so much experience at a high level will definitely benefit him.
We get a lot of fights where they say it's high risk, low rewards. Would you describe this fight as one of those? Obviously, normally we describe that when people are avoiding a fight. Obviously, Buatsi's taking this. Is Bolotniks high risk and low reward for Buatsi, or?
I don't think so. No. Like you said, they're 2 and 3 in the WBA, so both of them are at the same level near enough. So these are the fights that you have to take to get to world level. Do you know what I mean? Number 2, number 3 fight each other to fight maybe number 1 or fight the champion. So I don't think it's high risk, low reward. Both of them have something to lose, and that's their position in the WBA. But a lot to gain in terms of going on and pushing on for world honours. So no, I feel like this is the right fight for Buatsi at this stage of his career.
And finally, always ask for a prediction. I feel like throughout this chat you're swaying towards Buatsi, but just to get the confirmation from yourself, prediction for this fight.
Maybe I'm a bit biased towards Buatsi just because I'm a fan of Buatsi. I like his style. I like who he is as a person. But I do rate Buatsi very highly. Especially seeing him up close and personal in the gym. So I feel like he will get the stoppage late. I don't think Bolotniks has that power to stop him. He has to kind of, I feel like he'll have to grind out a points win, and he'll have to rack up the rounds very early. But someone like Buatsi, the longer you're in there with him, the more dangerous he is. You know what I mean? He carries so much power. So I feel like Buatsi just edges it for me.
Fantastic. Caoimhin, thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it.
No problem at all, James. Thanks very much.